Okay, so people, here we are today. Check the Pacer account today. The magistrate, Sarah, the federal magistrate for the Southern District of Indiana in downtown Indianapolis, answered all the motions that's been on the table to dismiss. And people, again, corruption at its goddamn best. Okay? Earlier, the defendant's attorneys had asked the court to screen the complaint to see if it was frivolous or anything like that, or malicious in nature, which we know it was not. You guys have been following for a while. You've seen all the documents that I've posted and things for you to read. And I posted the federal court's response on the motions to dismiss and the case right now. So I'm going to break it down real quick because they only give you 10 minutes. They're allowing us to move forward with the 3 correction officers that detained and arrested me. But what I found interesting in the order, they're still calling them deputies, and they're not. And we can prove they're not. They said they dismissed most of my causes, but they didn't say which ones. Just said dismiss. The order is extremely vague. When you go to read it, they didn't address the issues of the conflict of law. They completely ignored that child support is a contract and that we presented them with the contract, and that's how these people are operating. So they gave judicial immunity to the judge, Michael Casati, who is not immune because he works for the state of Indiana, and the state of Indiana is who runs child support Title 4D, which is a private organization and that the Supreme Court has deemed unconstitutional. So how does he have immunity? They didn't answer me and my evidence regarding him striking my bill of particulars or nature and cause of the action from the record. Didn't address it at all. Just gave him immunity. Knowing he's done this to me in 2022 and he did it again in 2024. So how do you have immunity and you keep doing the same damn thing over and then say, oh, I'm immune? Somebody explain that to me. Okay, the commissioner that was hired by DCS as a contractor, Christopher Barrow, they gave him immunity. Ignored the fact, again, that I showed them a contract, and that's how they're operating under contract with the prosecutor's office. Lisa Lancaster, the lady in Johnson County, Indiana, where I have never been, who sent an income withholding order to my job, not signed by a judge. She has no authority. She's a caseworker working inside the prosecutor's office, giving it the appearance that she has the authority, and she does not. They have the audacity, the higher court did, to say, we assume it was a valid order, completely ignoring my evidence that I had on file, that I filed with my admitted complaint that showed with just her rubber stamp on that order, which essentially stole money from my job. The higher court backed him up, gave her immunity. Kenneth Scott Cook, the other attorney that DCS privately hired to come after me after I had an order showing there was no child support or arrears because the previous prosecutor terminated them when I sued them in federal court. Okay, they ignored that, didn't answer that question, not one bit. Gave all of them immunity. Also, the DCS director of Indiana, who hired all these attorneys to come after me after the Supreme Court turned my case down and after they said there was no IWO or arrears owed, gave him immunity. Eric Miller in Indianapolis, Indiana. These people do not have immunity. They don't. This is corruption at its best. And if there's anybody out there that has a fantastic podcast. Put me on your podcast. I'm calling out the news, media, anybody who wants to see this corruption, this falsifying evidence, ignoring evidence, in order to bring about the lowest settlement that they can come to. Furthermore, what they did was they tried to instruct me to only go after the 3 correction officers for excessive force and not false arrest and unlawful detainment. Okay? They ignored the fraud, the racial amicus. They ignored everything and did not say which ones I'm allowed to go after. They ignored every goddamn thing, everything. Her name is, I believe, Sarah Barker, the federal magistrate. They also ignored that because I requested on 3 different occasions. I want an Article 3 judge. On 3 different occasions, they never put that before an Article 3 judge. So, essentially what they're saying, we're only allowed to sue the 3 correction officers. Okay? Then at the end of it, when you read it, and I've already posted, they're trying to threaten me with sanctions if I continue to file, as they say, repetitive paperwork. I didn't file anything repetitive. This judge, Michael Casati in Noblesville, Indiana, did the same thing in January of 2024. He signed off on a order that placed me in jail. He does not have immunity. He struck my 6th Amendment right from the record. That alone, he loses immunity. They've not placed jurisdiction on the record. They don't have jurisdiction. That right there, he loses immunity. Okay? So, essentially what they're doing is trying to minimize the damage. So, instead of potentially getting my $10 million settlement that I'm seeking, they're essentially trying to say, we only give him $1,000 per day that he was locked up for 7 days. Never turned over none of the deputies' names from 2022, 21, or 2017. Violated the Brady Rule in open face. Said, fuck you. We ain't turning over nothing. So you can sue those other deputies. And that's it. That's it. That's it. They knew we had a strong ass, powerful case. And they still know it. So we're going to discuss what we're going to do from here, since they want to play these damn games and still ride this corruption cart. Sorry. So we're gonna go from here and see what we're gonna do. So essentially, that's where it is right now. They're only allowing us to move forward with the 3 deputies, well, not deputies, correction officers. And on top of that, giving them another 90 days to respond. And they not even responded from the amended complaint that was filed 3/15 of 24. And on top of that, allowing them to file under the 12B again.